Hello! I'm making sweet potato black bean enchiladas in the crock pot. It takes 2 hours on high. And so I went ahead and have my ingredients ready. You have 1 onion diced, and you have 1 sweet potato and 1 red pepper chopped. I got corn tortillas. My husband likes those. Oh, and by the way, this onion is for the enchilada sauce, so I diced it really fine because I don't want to puree it. You can puree it if you like it smooth. But for my enchilada sauce, and we use chili and garlic powder in the mix and in the enchilada sauce. And the enchilada sauce we'll go ahead and make the herbs for that. Chili powder, oregano, garlic powder, black pepper, ground cumin. We've got a thing of crushed tomatoes for the enchilada sauce, a thing of black beans, and some chicken broth. It's going to be 1 cup. Okay, so I like to use my little mortar and pestle. I feel like a little scientist. So we're going to do, how about a tablespoon of chili powder? You can heap it, give a little more flavor. And then let's do 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. You know, and if you want to just eyeball it, that's fine. And then, sorry, my cat's in heat. She's kind of vocal. Okay, and then we're going to do a teaspoon of the rest so it's easy to remember. So let's do oregano, salt and pepper. I got a little salt here. And then cumin. Actually, let me take this sprinkle thing off. I like to heap the cumin. I'm a fan of cumin. And then let's do some black pepper. Look at that. It looks so cool. And then I like to mortar it. Woo! Woo! If you could smell it. It smells so good. Okay, now we're gonna start the enchilada sauce. Can you pause it? All right, now we're gonna make the enchilada sauce. I started by drizzling a little olive oil in the pan. I'm gonna turn that heat up, crank it up kind of high. Now, I tried to dice these onions tiny because my son, he likes them diced really small, and he is good at dicing onions. He looks like a pro. But I don't know if I did them quite as good as him. But so what we're going to do is cook those in the olive oil. Get them nice and translucent. Ooh, look at that. It's starting to do the sizzle. You want to come see these onions? Oh yes, this is my favorite pan. I use it pretty much every night. It's a big old clunker. And this little bird spatula, my mother-in-law bought it for me at a little local store. I think it's so cute. And even though it's got a winter scene, I still use it. Okay, we'll meet you right back once these are translucent and we're ready to add the spices. Okay, now these onions, they got a little brown. I had to turn the heat down, but that adds flavor, so it'll be really good. Now is the fun part. We're gonna add those spices in, and it's going to smell so awesome. Look at that. Oh, get every little last bit. Woo! Okay, now, let's go ahead and stir that. Ooh. Oh my gosh, look at that clump. Oh. It smells so good. The neat thing about this recipe is you can use, it's mostly pantry ingredients. Onions and potatoes, sweet potatoes last really long in the pantry, and then the canned items and spices. The only thing that's doesn't last long is the red pepper we're gonna put in there, but you could always omit that if you want. I'm going to add a cup of chicken broth and a 15-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, which I failed to open, but let's let those flavors come together. I'm going to open these. Go ahead. right, now I'm gonna add those crushed tomatoes. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna get every last little bit of tomato. And notice, like, I'm gonna start stirring this in. We're gonna turn the heat up a little bit so we can get some bubbling. And those flavors are really gonna incorporate when it's in the crock pot. Come take a gander at this sauce. It's such a pretty color. I love the way the chili powder makes the red turn into this brownish. It's just like dark. You can see the flavor almost. All right. Next we're just gonna let that simmer as we put together our filling. All right, now for our filling, we've got that sweet potato and red pepper that we chopped up. Oops, lost one. So we're gonna put that in a decent sized bowl because we're gonna stir in some spices. So I'm gonna go ahead and put those in there. I always get so nervous how the sweet potatoes start to turn black, so I tried to cut them last minute before I started. Okay, now got our sauce simmering there, and now I'm gonna grab some black beans, which I rinsed because they always come out of the can so gross and like with that black stuff. So I'm gonna put those in there. So it's just 3 ingredients, very easy. And then we add the spices, which for this I'm gonna do some salt and pepper, probably about a, half teaspoon of salt. I will sprinkle a little pepper. I have to put that little sprinkle lid back on. Just sprinkle some pepper. You could use fresh ground. And then I think we're gonna put a little bit of oregano, say about 1/4 of a teaspoon. About the same amount of garlic powder, about 1/4 teaspoon. And then let's put a little chili powder, about a teaspoon, half teaspoon. And we're just gonna stir that in to incorporate those flavors. We've got our yummy sauce simmering here. It just looks glorious. Now, there's so many different things you can do, but for this particular one, you can fill the little tortillas, but since I got corn ones and they're little, I think I'm gonna do this like a stackable casserole. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of the sauce and put it in the crock pot, and then spread it so it's kind of like a little lasagna layering going on here. And then we've got our ingredients here that we stirred up. I just want to get them stirred a little better, but don't those colors look so beautiful? So many vitamins in here. Fiber from the beans, just great for your body. So let's go ahead and put some of that in the slow cooker. Layer it. You want to take a look at that? You want to get in there? And then we'll put some corn tortillas. Just like a little lasagna. Let's get those corners. Nice corn tortillas. I think we'll put 6. So I'll get both sides and then I'll get the middle here. Great. And then let's put some more sauce on there. Just a little layering game. And we'll layer that, and we'll just continue these layers. Doesn't that look yummy? Let's get another layer of the filling. Okay, push that around so it's nice and everybody gets a bite. Oh, there comes that cat again. Oh, she's relentless. She actually escaped yesterday and it was so scary. Hopefully, sounds like she didn't get pregnant though, so that's good. We have an appointment to get her fixed. And I always wash my hands after touching the pets. All right, and we'll just keep those layers and see you back right before as we add the cheese at the end. know, you can choose what kind of cheese you want on top. I'm gonna have fun today and use pepper jack, extra sharp cheddar, and Monterey Jack. And I'm just gonna grate that right onto there. Now we turn it up to high, put the lid on, and forget about it for 2 hours. You wanna come check this out? My crock pot gets really hot, so the edges get a little brown, but here's the nice melty thing. I'm gonna get a little section out here. Be careful, it's probably kind of, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that tender, delicious. That looks amazing. And then I'm putting, I have like lettuces and avocados and tomatoes. You can do like cilantro and stuff. I made a nice little fruit salad to go with it. So we're gonna have all sorts of fruits and vegetables today. And here, I'll take a little tiny taste. Very good. This potato, sometimes you cook it a little longer if the potatoes aren't done, so test a potato to make sure they're not too crisp. All right, I hope you make this and enjoy it. Thanks.